This is the summary video to a month of gliding. See the video description for a link to the playlist of each individual flight. Check those video descriptions for a WeGlide track link. The timestamps in the video should be close enough to cross-check where I was on the WeGlide track, noting local time is UTC +2. I did over 50 hours solo and 15 and 2-seaters with 2.5 hours of edited footage. It's a lot, but I enjoyed it and I think it helps me learn. I arrived on the last day of April and my first flight was a check ride on the Juradiscus with Jean-Pierre. Later that day and for the next few weeks I flew solo in Victor V5. It has hand controls. Got my gliding licence here at the end of last season, and the season before that I was trying out the hand controls for the first time. The season before that I did a mini comp before my accident. For that time I had it to myself, which is amazing. Mark owns it, but I hire it through the club and they have been super helpful with everything. Stefan, always the first to launch, started a 3-day mission that day, landing in Austria and Switzerland. It was definitely a good weather window. Because I only got my official licence at the end of last season, I only had one flight previously in the Pegase. On the second day, I only flew for 3.5 hours, and the third day was quite tricky to get away. I felt I flew better though, and third time lucky, I got into the big mountains. It was a difficult day for many, and as the cloud thickened, Stefan managed to get back from his trip across the Alps just in time. Meanwhile, I took a long glide, 62 kilometres from hero to zero. But at least I landed at an airfield. The next 3 days were poor and I didn't fly. It was a good atmosphere with 23 visiting Spanish pilots, and I don't need to fly every day. They were keen and there was always something to learn. As I did on my next flying day with 3 short flights. Overcast is different to showers. I love flying with showers around. There was so much more going on in the sky. It's a great feeling to squeeze in a few hours flying before the showers come. This was the predominant weather in May. I had 3 consecutive days at the start of May and in mid-May, but in between just a day here and there. I love gliding on days like this. Low cloud base made the bigger hills unreachable, but there is so much interesting escarpment features on the terrain around the Durance Valley. On this flight I got quite stuck on the Crête de Sel. Lots of struggling after I thought I had it in the bag, but it was a good prompt to identify another landing option. The route I flew for this flight was dictated by where the showers were, and I had a nice slow save near Laragna and then continued on getting home. This flight was the longest of the year for me, 7 hours, and there were storms even before I took off, and all day long in all directions. Yep, it's been unstable weather in the southern French Alps with storms for, has it been 10 days in a row by then? Lucky for me, it's my favourite kind of weather. You can't go everywhere, but there's so much to look at in the sky. I've been very lucky to have had a single seat glider, the Pegase Victor V5, all to myself for the whole visit. Cloud base wasn't very high on this day, so it wasn't hard to get stuck at Mount Guillaume below 2,000 metres for quite a while, but I managed to get out of there and had a quick look at the Vercors before heading back home. I also prefer there to be snow in the mountains. It looks better than piles of rocks, even if the thermals are weak. My biggest flight in terms of sporting risk was on the last day before I headed to Spain. Luckily I didn't land in Italy. I managed to edit all the footage down to 19 minutes, but yeah, it's quite a lot. I might skip through it a little bit faster so we can get to the next video. It was awesome to take Camilla for a sail in Spain and to take her out to my old favourites. The buses on the French side were the most expensive part of the whole travel, but it was great to have Gilles take me the last part to the gliding club. Accessibility here is quite a challenge. The medical was great, but where was the paperwork? How long would it take to send an email? In the meantime, I had my first flight with Valentin, a great pilot and a super nice guy. I enjoyed his gift of homemade rhubarb jam. Conditions were really difficult, and it contrasted to the next day where I had a dream flight with Terry in his Nimbus. Then conditions were back to tricky as I got the medical and went out solo. I had a few outlandings this year, but this time it was a relief to get home. After all that hard work going nowhere, I'm going to have a long relaxing glide. Well, I just went through a bit of sync. No clouds ahead. There's a nice convergence line out that way. The north wind came and pushed away that humid air. Summer arrived. This huge flight happened, but we didn't know about it. We were struggling, and the conditions, didn't make me change my mind from not being so motivated. But the next morning, that wave guy, he came and said hello during briefing. I'm so lucky to be part of this club. A few more locals turned up, and that day Donna Pierre would fly the Pegase. But Terry again offered me a ride in the Nimbus. It took us 2 flights and over 2 hours to get to Cloudbase. Did I say that I like unstable weather? On this flight I gave up going east and I got stuck for a while on the Roc d'Aigle. Then I could follow a nice line north, and finally it was looking good in the Vercors. I'd never flown as far as Grenoble before. But the best day was still to come. I'm so lucky to have found this club, and it suits me in so many ways. I can stay on site. It's a great atmosphere with visiting pilots you've met and some you haven't. The locals who keep the place going do an awesome job, and there's some talented pilots. Winching is quiet and cheap, and these hills teach us a lot. It's a nice place to fly even when you can't reach the bigger hills, and you often can. One of the limitations of gliding is the dependence on infrastructure. If you have to pick one place, this is a great option. I made a lot of video, but I really like reliving the flights. I also believe it helps me learn. So, what have I learnt this month? The points I made were: having a great crew makes all the difference. Being comfortable with other landing options opens up your world. There's so many options, so adapt to the weather. Landing isn't that difficult. I've just got to relax and remember the basics. Okay, wish me luck. I'm going to get this video, which is gigabytes of different files and all sped up really fast, and I'm going to see if my little phone can handle it all.